Isabella's best friend had set it up, just one evening, ISA. He's charming, handsome, and not after your money. Against her better judgment, she agreed. She'd grown tired of men who saw her as a golden ticket, of fake smiles and shallow conversations. Maybe this time, it'd be different. Maybe this time, someone would see her the moment she walked into the restaurant, all heads turned. Her elegant red dress hugged her figure perfectly, her confidence filling the room. But the moment her date, Damien, stood up, something inside her faltered. He was already holding his phone, barely glancing up. "Isabella Thorne," he said, as though confirming a delivery order. She smiled politely. "That's me." He gestured to the seat across. "You look expensive." The comment stung, but she brushed it off, trying to stay calm. The evening went downhill fast. Damien boasted about his money, his cars, his gym body, and how he almost made it into a modeling agency. Every time she tried to talk about her interests, he interrupted. "You know, I really like a woman who stays quiet and looks pretty." Halfway through dinner, he leaned back and said, "So, I saw your net worth online. I wasn't sure if you'd be too high maintenance." "I guess I was right." Then he chuckled, signaling the waiter for another drink around them. A few people turned to look, whispers floating in the air. Isabella's throat tightened. Her vision blurred with embarrassment and anger. For once, she wished she could disappear. Then, out of nowhere, a voice spoke up from the next table. "Hey, man," it said, low but firm. "Maybe you should learn some respect before you try dating." Isabella turned. A man in his early 30s sat there with a little girl beside him, curly-haired, maybe 6 years old, holding a crayon and coloring quietly. The man was rugged, wearing a simple flannel shirt, his sleeves rolled up. His eyes, calm and piercing, met hers for just a moment, and for the first time all night, she felt safe. Damien scoffed. "And who are you, her bodyguard?" The man stood up slowly, towering over him. "No," he said. "Just a father teaching his daughter what kind of man she should never grow up to like." The restaurant went silent. Damien grumbled something under his breath, threw a few bills on the table, and left in a storm of arrogance. Isabella just sat there, shaken, unsure whether to cry or laugh. "Are you okay?" the man asked. She nodded weakly. "I think so. Thank you for that." He smiled gently. "I didn't mean to interrupt your evening, but no one deserves to be treated that way. Especially not someone who looks like they haven't had a genuine conversation in a while." That caught her off guard. "You're not wrong," she said softly. His daughter tugged at his sleeve. "Daddy, can the pretty lady join us? You said nice people shouldn't eat alone." He looked embarrassed, but Isabella's lips curved into a small smile. "I'd love to," she said, and that was how the heiress ended up sitting across from a small-town single dad named Luke Bennett and his daughter, Emma, in the corner of a city restaurant that suddenly felt warmer than anywhere she'd ever been. The next few days were a blur. Isabella couldn't stop thinking about them, Luke's quiet strength, the way he listened without judgment, and Emma's laughter that filled every silence. When Luke mentioned he ran a small auto repair shop 2 hours outside the city, she found herself driving there one weekend under the excuse of needing her car checked. Luke was surprised but smiled knowingly. "You again? Don't tell me another bad date?" She laughed. "No. Just wanted to see you." They talked while he worked, grease on his hands, sincerity in his voice. She told him about the loneliness of her world, how people only saw the name, not the woman behind it. He told her about losing his wife young, raising Emma alone, and learning to be both a father and a mother. Their stories unfolded like old songs, different melodies, but the same rhythm of pain and hope. Days turned into weeks. Isabella started visiting more often. She'd bring lunch for him and Emma, sometimes staying to help clean the shop or read bedtime stories. Luke noticed how she'd laugh more easily now, how she'd stopped wearing her diamond jewelry and started wearing jeans and a ponytail, but just when happiness began to bloom, reality hit hard. Her father found out. "You're seeing who?" he demanded, slamming his hand on the desk. "A mechanic? A single father? Isabella, do you realize how this looks? You're embarrassing this family." Tears welled in her eyes. "I don't care how it looks. He makes me happy." Her father's voice softened, but his tone remained cold. "Happiness doesn't pay for empires. You'll end this, or I'll cut you off. Everything. For the first time in her life, Isabella faced a choice between her world of privilege and the man who made her feel human. That night, she drove to Luke's house in tears. I can't drag you into this, she said, voice breaking. My family will destroy you. Luke took her hand. Then let them. I've lived through worse. You deserve someone who sees you, Isabella. But you need to choose that for yourself. She cried into his chest that night, unsure of what the future would bring, but certain of one thing: for the first time, she was loved for who she truly was. Months later, the world found out. The tabloids called it the Heiress and the Mechanic. Her father's company tried to distance itself from her, and she walked away without hesitation. She sold her shares, left the penthouse behind, and moved to Luke's town. It wasn't easy. She traded designer gowns for aprons, late-night parties for bedtime stories. But every time Emma ran into her arms yelling, "Mommy Bella," or Luke wrapped his arms around her after a long day, she knew she'd chosen right.